It was October 1976, and The Mike Douglas Show was one of the most popular daytime talk shows in America. Broadcast live from Philadelphia, the show featured celebrity guests, comedy sketches, and variety acts. Muhammad Ali was scheduled to appear as a guest to promote an upcoming fight, but the producers wanted something more exciting than just an interview. They wanted spectacle. They wanted something people would remember. Someone on the production team had the idea, what if we brought on a knife thrower? Not just any knife thrower, but Victor the Blade Martinez, a renowned performer who'd spent 30 years perfecting the art of throwing knives. Martinez had performed in circuses across Europe, appeared on Ed Sullivan, and never, not once in 30 years, injured anyone during his act. The premise was simple. Martinez would throw knives at a target while Ali stood nearby, demonstrating Ali's famous nerves of steel. Maybe Ali would hold up a target or stand next to a board while Martinez threw knives around him. Standard variety show stuff. Impressive, but safe. Then, Ali heard about the plan and had a different idea. "Why don't you throw it at me?" he said during a pre-show meeting. "Put an apple on my head, William Tell style. That'd be something to see." The room went silent. The producer, a man named Jerry Davis, stared at Ali like he'd suggested they set the studio on fire. "Champ, we can't do that. If something goes wrong—" "Nothing's going to go wrong," Ali interrupted with that famous confidence. "I've dodged punches from Sonny Liston and Joe Frazier. I think I can stand still for a knife thrower." Martinez, who'd been quiet until now, spoke up. "Mr. Ali, with all respect, this is different from boxing. In boxing, you're supposed to move. In this, you're supposed to stay perfectly still. And staying still isn't something your body knows how to do when something's coming at your face." Ali waved him off. "I got this. Let's give the people a real show." Against his better judgment, Jerry Davis agreed to let them rehearse it. Just rehearse. They'd decide whether to do it live based on how the rehearsal went. The rehearsal was scheduled for 3 hours before the live broadcast. They set up the stage, with Martinez standing 20 feet away from Ali, the standard distance for this kind of throw. Martinez's knife of choice was a 12-inch throwing blade, perfectly balanced with a weighted handle and a razor-sharp point. He'd used this specific knife for 15 years. He knew exactly how it flew, exactly how it rotated, exactly where it would land. Ali stood in position, and Martinez carefully balanced a red apple on top of Ali's head. The apple sat there perfectly still on Ali's short hair. "Okay, champ," Martinez said, backing away to his throwing position. "This is very important. When I release this knife, it's going to travel at about 40 miles per hour. It'll take about 3 seconds to reach you. During those 3 seconds, you cannot move, not even a little. If you move your head even 2 inches in any direction, the knife won't hit the apple, it'll hit you. Do you understand?" Ali nodded. "I understand. I'll be a statue." "I'm serious," Martinez insisted. "Your reflexes are going to want you to move. When you see this knife coming at your face, every instinct you have is going to scream at you to duck or dodge. You have to fight that instinct. Can you do that?" "I've been standing still for cameras my whole life. This is no different." But it was different. Martinez knew it, Jerry Davis knew it, even some of the crew members watching knew it. Because standing still for a camera is one thing. Standing still when a 12-inch blade is flying at your face at 40 miles per hour is something else entirely. Martinez took his position. He held the knife by the blade, the way throwers do, with the handle pointing away from him. He focused on the apple, calculating the distance, the rotation, the trajectory. He'd done this throw 10,000 times. He could do it in his sleep. He drew back his arm and released. The knife spun through the air, a blur of steel rotating 4 times as it traveled the 20 feet toward Ali's head. It took exactly 2.8 seconds from release to impact.
But at 2.3 seconds, half a second before the knife reached the apple, Ali's head moved. It wasn't a big movement, just a slight bob to the left, maybe 2 inches, the kind of defensive head movement that had been drilled into Ali through hundreds of sparring sessions, through thousands of rounds, through 20 years of training his body to move when something came at his face. The knife hit the wall 3 inches to the right of where Ali's head had been, embedding itself in the plywood with a solid thunk. The rehearsal room went dead silent. Ali looked sheepish. "My bad. Let me try that again." "No," Martinez said firmly. He walked over and pulled the knife out of the wall. His hands were shaking slightly. "Mr. Ali, do you understand what just happened? If you'd moved 3 inches to the right instead of left, this knife would have hit you in the temple. You'd be dead or in a coma right now." Ali's smile faded. For the first time, he seemed to grasp the actual danger. "I didn't mean to move, it just happened." "Exactly," Martinez said. "That's what I'm trying to tell you. Your reflexes are too fast. They're automatic. When your brain sees something coming at your face, it tells your body to move before you even consciously register what's happening. You can't control it." Jerry Davis, who'd been watching from the control booth, came running down to the stage. "That's it. We're not doing this bit. It's too dangerous. We'll come up with something else." But Ali wasn't ready to give up. "One more try. Now that I know what to expect, I can control it. One more try." Martinez and Davis exchanged looks. Finally, Martinez nodded. "One more try. But if you move again, we're done." They reset. Martinez placed a fresh apple on Ali's head. Ali stood perfectly still, his jaw set with determination. Martinez took his position 20 feet away. This time, Ali kept his eyes closed. He figured if he couldn't see the knife coming, his reflexes wouldn't trigger. Martinez released the blade. The knife spun through the air. Ali kept his eyes closed, forcing his body to stay still. Every muscle was tense, fighting against 20 years of training that screamed at him to move, move, move. The knife hit the apple dead center, splitting it in half. Both pieces fell to the floor. The knife embedded itself in the wall behind Ali, exactly where the apple had been. Ali opened his eyes. For a moment, he didn't realize what had happened. Then he saw the apple halves on the floor, felt the absence of weight on his head, and broke into the biggest smile.
"We got it!" he shouted. "Let's do it live!" Jerry Davis was less enthusiastic. "Champ, you kept your eyes closed. You can't do that on live TV. The whole point is to see your face, to see you stay calm while the knife comes at you." Ali's smile faded slightly. "Right. Okay. One more practice then. Eyes open this time." They tried 3 more times. Every single time Ali kept his eyes open, his head moved. Sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes back, but it always moved. The defensive reflex was too deeply ingrained. His body simply would not let him stand still while watching something fly at his face. After the 5th attempt, with 5 knife holes in the wall and no successful hits with eyes open, Martinez put down his knife. "Mr. Ali, I can't do this. Not live. It's too dangerous. Your reflexes are too good. That's actually the problem. You're too well trained to stand still." Ali looked frustrated. He hated admitting he couldn't do something. "What if I focus really hard? What if I—" "It's not about focus," Martinez interrupted. "It's about neurology. Your brain has been wired through thousands of hours of training to protect your head. That wiring doesn't turn off just because you want it to." Jerry Davis made the executive decision. "We're not doing the apple on the head, but we'll figure out something else. Maybe Ali can hold a target in his hand, away from his body. That way if he moves, the worst that happens is we miss the target." They spent the next hour working out a compromise. Instead of putting the apple on Ali's head, they'd have Ali hold a small target board in his extended arm. Martinez would throw the knife at the board. If Ali's reflexes made him move, he'd just pull his arm back and the knife would miss. No real danger. It wasn't as dramatic as the William Tell act, but it was safer. Everyone agreed this was the better choice. Then, with 30 seconds before going live, Muhammad Ali changed his mind. He was already in position on stage, camera operators getting their angles, when he turned to Martinez and said, "Let's do the apple." Jerry Davis, watching from the control booth, grabbed his headset. "No, Ali, we already decided." "The people want to see something amazing," Ali said, loud enough that his microphone picked it up. "Let's give it to them. Put the apple on my head." Martinez looked at Jerry Davis. Davis was shaking his head violently, but they were 20 seconds from going live. If Ali wanted to do it, and Martinez agreed, Davis couldn't physically stop them. "I'll keep my eyes closed," Ali said to Martinez, "like in rehearsal. It worked then." Martinez picked up the apple, walked over, and placed it on Ali's head. His hands were shaking. He'd performed for presidents, for royalty, for crowds of 10,000. He'd never been this nervous. The floor director counted down. 5, 4, 3, then silent fingers for 2 and 1. They were live. Mike Douglas, the show's host, introduced the act with enthusiasm, not knowing about the chaos that had just unfolded backstage. "Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness something incredible. The great Muhammad Ali is going to demonstrate his legendary nerves of steel by having Victor the Blade Martinez throw a knife at an apple on his head." The studio audience gasped. 10 million people watching at home leaned closer to their TV screens. Martinez took his position. Ali stood 20 feet away, the apple balanced on his head, his eyes closed. Mike Douglas had moved well off to the side, giving the cameras a clear view. Martinez held the knife, focusing on the apple. His mouth was dry. His heart was pounding. He'd made this throw successfully in rehearsal with Ali's eyes closed. He could do it again. He had to do it again.
He drew back his arm. The studio was so quiet you could hear people breathing. He released the knife. It spun through the air, rotating exactly as it should, on a perfect trajectory toward the apple. The cameras captured it in real time, 2.8 seconds from release to impact that felt like an eternity to everyone watching. Ali stood perfectly still, eyes closed, jaw clenched, every muscle in his body fighting against the reflex to move. The knife hit the apple dead center, splitting it in half. Both pieces fell to the stage floor as the knife embedded itself in the padded wall behind Ali. The studio audience exploded in applause. Ali opened his eyes, realized what had happened, and threw his arms up in victory. Martinez nearly collapsed from relief. Mike Douglas rushed over, laughing with a mixture of amazement and residual terror. "Champ, how did that feel?" Ali, ever the showman, grinned at the camera. "Mike, I've been hit by George Foreman and Joe Frazier. A little knife didn't scare me." But later, after the show, when the cameras were off and the audience had gone home, Ali admitted the truth to Martinez. "That was the most scared I've ever been in my life. I've been in the ring with killers, but I always knew I could move, I could defend myself. Standing still while something comes at you, that's the hardest thing I've ever done." Martinez laughed, the tension finally leaving his body. "That's what I tried to tell you. Your speed, your reflexes, they're your superpower. But sometimes the hardest thing for a superhero to do is nothing." The clip of Ali and the knife throw became one of the most replayed moments in Mike Douglas show history. It's been referenced in documentaries and discussed by neurologists interested in reflexes and muscle memory. Jerry Davis, the producer who'd screamed they couldn't do it, later admitted it was the best decision he never wanted to make. "That 3 seconds took 3 years off my life," he said, "but it gave us the most unforgettable moment the show ever had."
If this story of controlling the uncontrollable moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that sometimes the hardest thing to do is nothing at all. Have you ever had to fight against your own instincts? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to ring that notification bell for more incredible true stories about the moments when staying still requires more courage than moving.